All right. This is the Cruise Dynasty Podcast, and welcome back for another episode. Week 1 of the playoffs is in the books. So we're going to recap Week 15. See Swizzy. I had 4 teams in the playoffs. Lost 3. I got 1 left. Lost all my gambling. Lost my DFS. Man, I had a fucking terrible week, man. Pissing me off.
I actually had a pretty good week. I hit on 3 over and unders, and then if I would have kept my original DFS lineup for Saturday, I would have went number 1. But I was expecting that snow to blow through, man, and I took Waddle out, and it didn't even start snowing until like 7 minutes left in the game, and I was like, this is some bullshit. But I finished second, so off a little 25-cent bet, I at least won back $36. So I ain't complaining.
That's crazy. Definitely can't complain with that. I know, man, that game, I was mad as fuck because the over and under was set at 43.5. So I was like, it's going to be snowing. I'm hitting the under. They playing in clear skies, man. I was like, what the fuck? that over and under would have been set at 54. Yeah. So that shit just pisses me off. That was easy money for people who took the over. Easy money. So...
And I swapped out James Cook for Singletary, and James Cook caught that touchdown, and I was like, fuck. And it bit me in the ass because I only needed 2 points to come in first. Other than that, my lineup was perfect. But we now 2-1 on our consensus locks now. We lost that one, but I don't know. I remember you asked what happened. Did you go look at it? Did you go take a look at what happened? Because that's some bullshit.
I saw that play and I was like, that's the stupidest play I've probably ever seen right there. I mean, what in the fuck? And that's how we lose the lock right there. Like, I don't know, man. Tough luck.
That's why I was like, that's the hell of the way to lose the lock on some bullshit like that. I was just like, they're not lateraling the ball right now, right? I was like, okay, he lateraled it back. This dude's going to run out of bounds, play for overtime. Nope, this dude said, let me throw this shit way over here. And that was it. That was the game.
So the crew is 2-1 on our locks for this year. We'll give y'all a better lock next week, though. So, but shoot, man, we just gonna dive right in. Before we do, add the podcast, give us that 5-star review, join the Discord. I'm about to start pushing this Discord hard. People join the Discord, interact with us, then add us on all the platforms like Instagram, Twitter. Add me, the Craft Man. No Craft Man tonight, by the way. His fam is sick. So he's got shit to take care of. What else am I missing? Twitch. Add us on Twitch. Check us out live. Shit, I think that's about it, right, Chris?
Yeah, that's it. Follow the YouTube.
Yep.
Hit notifications to see when a new video comes out. Give us that subscribe.
Yeah,
we're gonna be putting out a lot of content. The off season's coming, and I think we got a lot planned for the off season. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Gonna be hitting some dynasty. Gonna be talking some rookies. All kinds of shit, man. The off season is where the grind starts, man. There's all this in the season. It's easy work, man. A lot of this in the season is like a lot of redraft talk. But out during the off season, it's gonna be a lot of dynasty talk. That's the shit I love to talk about the most.
Yeah, but make sure you catch the episode because we're gonna do a startup draft with definitely me, Matt, and the Craft Man are gonna be in it. We're probably gonna get some other guys in it.
Yeah,
hell, we may need to do where we can have some people that interact with us hop in one or something like that and see. That'd be pretty fun to do. But definitely be on the lookout for that. You got free agency coming up. I mean. Yep. It's going to be a fun off season.
Yep, definitely going to have all kinds of mock drafts coming up. Your redraft mock drafts, startups, super flex startups. Maybe even dive into some keeper shit. I don't really know too much about keeper leagues, but maybe me, Chris, and the Craft Man might do a little something about that. I don't know. We'll check that out. But a lot of start-off drafts, A lot of mock drafts for the redraft, because once that next season starts coming on, we're going to be diving into these drafts, trying to get the best
I
values for
know.
everybody.
Yeah, look for our dynasty rankings where we're not looking, where we're not looking at Keep Trade Cut or somebody else like that. This is straight from us, what we think. Got a little heated
Yeah.
last time, but I definitely want to ask I definitely got to ask the craft man about his Trevor Lawrence and Dak Prescott one. Now I got to, I got to talk to him about that one.
I'm telling you, man, I feel pretty good about that one. But heck, Craftman's got me on some of them. But yeah, all right, shoot, news, man. Biggest news of the week: Jalen Hurts banged up. I mean, I'm seeing all kinds of shit, Chris. I'm seeing this dude might sit out the rest of the regular season. I'm seeing he might be back week 16. If you had to ask me, I would say it's a possibility he misses some time, but is back before the regular season ends. So it might, but that's just a guess. So don't worry me on that. If he comes back this week, then you just got to hope this man stays healthy. Maybe his rushing might come down a little bit, but I don't know, man. What you think, Chris?
I am in a predicament because I'm a holder in the home league that I'm trying to win of Jalen Hurts, and part of me would like to think that, I mean, he does have this team set up to go to the playoffs. There's nothing that can happen that they're not going to go. But part of me thinks that they play in Dallas this week, and this dude he's going to want to be out there. But part of me also thinks that they're talking dislocated shoulder. That's about playing through pain right there. And if that gets aggravated, he could be done potentially for the playoffs if something happens with that. I'm thinking if you're holding Hurts right now, you have to have a plan B, and I'm not even saying just a plan B. You need to have a plan B and C, because if you're counting on Hurts this week, you have to be able to put somebody in that can somewhat even match that production, because Hurts has been carrying a lot of fantasy teams this year, and he has definitely been helping me out. Last 3 weeks has been over 30 points every game.
Yeah, Hurts is the man. Almost brought me back in the Superflex playoff this past week versus the Craft Man. Bad man he is. He's a bad man. So yeah, be on the lookout for him. Goddard activated from the IR this week. He will be back, is what it looks like. AJ Dillon's in concussion protocol. They're saying Khalil Herbert might return from the IR. Mike White, he was limited in practicing. There was a couple other big ones, or big-ish ones. Lamar, he's still not practicing. J.K. Dobbins, rest day. Trevor Lawrence is questionable with a toe. Looks like to me he's going to play, though.
I think Lamar will play this week, too.
Yeah. Yes. The Baltimore's in some tight races, especially after taking a loss to Cleveland. Chris Olave dealing with a hamstring, questionable. I'd be worried about Chris Olave in your lineups going forward this year. Josh Allen limited with an elbow. Tyler Lockett underwent surgery on Monday with his finger. They're saying there's a chance he returns week 17, just in time for your championships. That's a tough call, though, man. It'd be tough to start Tyler Lockett and being out a few games and then just throwing him in your championship. But I feel like you probably have to, the way he's been playing this year. So I don't know. Derrick Henry, not injury related. He was limited at practice. Treylon Burks concussion. That's pretty much all the big news. Chris Moore's even banged up for Houston. Everybody's banged up on Houston. So I'm sure there was a few that I missed. But when we break down, yeah, go ahead, Chris. There any more you got?
I was just gonna say, Christian McCaffrey's on there, but anybody that's on CMC, he's gonna be on that shit every week. He's gonna play, unless it's something big. He's gonna play.
Agreed. If we did miss some of this news, we'll be breaking it down when we break down week 2 of the playoffs, week 16. I'm sure we'll touch on whatever news that we missed. Really, the big news of the week, Jalen Hurts. Keep an eye out for that one, because that one's very, very impactful. Yeah, but real quick before we recap, let's just hit some of these waivers. Done talk to the craft man. Done talk to Chris and the big waiver wires, from what I can tell, are let's see. Tyler Algier had a nice game last week with the Falcons. Damn, if it's crazy because if I would have played Tyler Algier, I would have won in a redraft week. But there's no way I could have just threw him in and been like, "Oh, I'm dependent on Tyler Algier." Zach Moss, Deion Jackson. I think. Oh, that's another big news. Jonathan Taylor is on the IR. His season's done. So I wouldn't be expecting Jonathan Taylor back for this year because I don't think the Colts are going to make the playoffs, even though that division is sorry. I'm sure they are still in the race, but
Yeah, they are.
sounds like Jonathan Taylor's done for. So Zach Moss, Deion Jackson, guys like that. Jawan Johnson, man, Chris literally dropped Jawan Johnson this past week. Just dropped him, picked up Conklin. I put in a waiver claim for Johnson immediately. He had a big week. Taysom Hill, if he's on your waiver wires, I mean, he had a big touchdown pass. Chig on Conquo, Crafts guy. If he's on your waivers, pick him up. Especially in dynasty leagues, he probably should have been picked up in your dynasty leagues.
They need to run him on offense a lot more. He's a good little playmaker they got right there.
Definitely one of the tight ends that you could see elevating his game a little bit more. Miko Harmon gonna be back. I wouldn't play him, but I mean, just on your waivers, maybe pick him up. But Jahan Dotson had a big week last week. Romeo Dobbs is a possibility. Brock Purdy, Chris had mentioned Brock Purdy. Well, maybe before the podcast, he was thinking about maybe running Brock Purdy out there. And what you say, Chris? Gardner Minshew would be a nice one just in case.
Yeah, well, see, the reason I say Gardner Minshew is that Gardner's coming in for Jalen Hurts, and there's just no doubt that this is one of the best offenses in the league that he's playing with. It's hard to go out there and just fuck up completely. He's got the best O-line in the NFL probably when he goes out there, so he should be protected.
Gardner Minshew is probably one of the best backups in the league, I would say, if not the best. He's looked good ever since he's been in the league. He's looked good. Even down there in Jacksonville, he looked pretty good. So, Gardner Minshew with that offense definitely is a solid play if you're in a Jalen Hurts pickle. The Craft Man had said Aaron Rodgers, maybe. Bring it up, Aaron Rodgers, if you need him. Any more off the waiver wire, Chris? Any more? If there's any kind of handcuffs out there,
it's definitely it's handcuff time. Another big one. Handcuff wise, if Jordan Mason is on your waiver wire, go pick him up because it is very possible. I'm running into this dilemma myself. It's very possible that not this week, but next week they rest Christian McCaffrey. It's definitely possible because they're in the playoff. They have no reason. They're looking to contend. They could sit him. If he's not on that waiver wire, grab him. Another one I got, Marquise Goodwin. Or Godwin. Or, Goodwin. 32 years old, but he's going to fill in Tyler Lockett's role. And you saw how effective Tyler Lockett's been this season. And Marquise Goodwin's had some good games here and there. And now with him not having Tyler Lockett to contend with, he may get in the end zone a few times. So.
Yeah, and he's had some sneaky good games this year as it is. I mean, not to where you would say before the Lockett injury where you'd be like, oh, he's a flex play. But he's definitely had his games, his moments this year. So, yeah, that's a good one. Any more I'm missing?
Let me just ask this. Are you, with all the injuries that the Ravens have and Lamar coming back, are you putting out a flyer for Sammy Watkins? Are you playing Sammy Watkins at all?
Man, hell no, man. I just can't. That
was in the same boat.
I'll put it like this. If it was like in the home league and my team was banged up, how my team was banged up, and if you're that desperate, sure, I might would throw in the Sammy Watkins if I had to. But I ain't counting on that. Sammy Watkins is done. He's been done for a little while. I love
Yeah,
Sammy though.
yeah. It's a shame,
uh,
man. It's such a shame.
but dude, man, let's hop on these leaders. Starting off at quarterback, of course, Jalen Hurts. We've been talking about him a lot this episode. Then it went Kirk Cousins, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, and then Derek Carr rounded up that top 10. Jalen Hurts had, I believe, 3 rushing touchdowns. Is that right, Chris?
He had
Hell of
3
a
rushing
game.
touchdowns. That's insane.
You getting production like that, I mean, what are you going to do? 36 points from the quarterback spot.
If you was a Miles Sanders owner, you were pissed this week. You were absolutely pissed this
Yep,
week.
it's crazy because that's what David was talking about, like how different that matchup could have been between y'all. Like if Miles Sanders is getting the ball and scoring those touchdowns, it could be way different. Instead, it's Jalen Hurts. I mean, that's why I ain't been big on Miles Sanders all year, but Miles Sanders has definitely been better than what I expected him to be. So Jalen Hurts leading the way. Our number 2 guy was Kirk Cousins. Man, damn, Chris, that first half. Man, he looked so bad. He looked like he was like his pocket awareness was so bad in that first half on Saturday. But then next thing you know, in that second half, they're just throwing bombs. He's throwing screens to Dalvin Cook for 70 yards. Made that
Mike is
huge
still calling
comeback.
him a bitch.
Yeah,
Dude
still.
just broke off a 70-yard run, still calling him a bum. Uh, but no, man. Greatest comeback from the biggest deficit in NFL history, and then probably one of the biggest blunders to lose a game happened this week.
Yeah.
During the week of the Immaculate Reception, this was the week that the Immaculate Reception happened years ago.
Yeah.
And this happens this weekend. You had a team literally come back losing 33-0, and they came back and won that game. My fantasy DFS lineup was fucked through that first half because I had stacks on stacks. And then all of a sudden, Kirk Cousins finished with 34 fantasy points, and I was good after that. Like I said, I came in second on that one, so I won me a little money. But that's just crazy, man. That's crazy to come back like that.
Yeah, they was just scoring points after points after points. That was a good game to have. If you're man, fucking Jonathan Taylor fucked me, man. I would have man, he just fucked me, man. In a high scoring game like that.
Matt Ryan been part of the 2 biggest comebacks in NFL history. That's bad to be on your resume, bud, but I definitely don't blame you.
Nah, it's on his resume. But this, like, as my guy David didn't even watch the game, but he's like, he needs to have clock awareness and stuff like that. I'm like, man, look, you cannot blame Matt Ryan for this one. It's definitely a coincidence Matt Ryan was the quarterback for this shit. Motherfucking, what, 30? You spot your team 36 points? I mean, I don't know. Your defense got to get a stop every now and then. I don't know.
Yeah.
But shoot, Josh Allen, another big game. I wasn't really expecting it. I was thinking the snow was gonna bite him, but it was a clear night. Not much to really say. Josh Allen's just Josh Allen. Patrick Mahomes did the same shit. Had a big game versus Houston. You know, Houston had really not been giving up too many points to quarterbacks because they've been getting blown the fuck out. But Patrick Mahomes stayed in a little close game. So, you know, he just took off, man. Had another thing. Our guy, though, Chris, Trevor Lawrence, big day, big win versus them Cowboys, big comeback. Trevor Lawrence definitely has taken a step up, especially in dynasty ranking wise. He's starting to look like the guy that everybody was expecting him to be. And I was telling folks, you just got to be patient. Like, this dude got drafted to Jacksonville. Like, they were already the worst team. That's how he ended up there. And then it's Jacksonville on top of that. Then Urban Meyer's there. So that was just a shitty situation just to begin with. Give him time. I'll be judging Trevor Lawrence a whole lot harder next year. But what you think, Chris? I mean, this dude's looking good.
I asked y'all in the group chat because I honestly think it is. I think Trevor Lawrence has now entered. If he's in your lineup, you are starting this dude. He could have had some doubts, but this guy just went out there and torched Dallas's elite defense that they have. Trevor Lawrence has always been clutch. I mean, to me, he's oh my god, he's the way that he got that ball down there and looked calm and composed while he got it down there. The defense making the big play in overtime. I think he's going to be becoming what he was scouted as. And, that is a little bit of bias because I am a big fan of Trevor Lawrence. He won a natty after smacking Saban's ass. I love it.
Yep.
He's stepping up. He's stepping in. Definitely going to be a lot more critique on him next year because that third year I feel is what is really going to people are really going to be looking at. Massive step up between last year though.
Another year with that offense. Calvin Ridley's pulling up. They'll probably hit the draft pretty good again. So, yeah, I mean, definitely looking forward to that Jacksonville offense next year. Should be one of the most potent offenses in the league if you're thinking about it. I mean, they're already kind of that way. So, Joe Burrow, another big game. Tampa Bay just kept turning the fucking ball over, and Joe Burrow just was having his choice. All his guys getting involved. Touchdown to T. Higgins, touchdown to Jamar, touchdown to Tyler Boyd. Joe Burrow looks good out there. Yeah, I mean, not too much to say, but that was a pretty easy win. I know they started off slow, but that Buccaneers team is trash, man. They're done. Tom's done. They're all done.
I was about to say, do you think Tom Brady is regretting the decision now to come back? Is he regretting it at all? Because he looks like his blood pressure's rising every time he comes off the field. I won't lie to you.
Shit, maybe, but honestly, I think Tom Brady, I think he might be back next year, but not in a Buccaneers uniform. I think expect to see him maybe on the San Francisco 49ers. Something like that. So I don't know. I think he's done. Dak Prescott, another big week. On my redraft team, I have Dak Prescott and I have Trevor Lawrence. I picked Dak Prescott because I went with the matchup. Fucking regretting that shit. So I don't know. Dak Prescott, to me, he's just been underwhelming for the past couple years. I don't know. Really, I always say since he got paid, but I don't know. He's averaging 17 points a game. So he's been solid. Like, it ain't nothing to sit here and whine about, complain about. But the number 8 guy, Justin Fields. Justin Fields had a pair of touchdown passes in week 15. Another big week. Quarterback 5 on the year, Justin Fields is. A lot of rushing upside with Justin Fields. I want to say I thought he got a little banged up that past game. Am I wrong about that?
He did leave the game and come back.
So, I don't know. Justin Fields got to make sure he's not taking hits. I mean, with all that running you do, you got to make sure you're just getting down, stuff like that. But dang, he looks good. I mean, that one play, I don't even think the touchdown counted, or maybe it did, but the dude was just fucking breaking tackles left and right.
Didn't move.
Spin move. Looking like a Madden game. I mean, that dude's crazy. Zach Wilson, I mean, they blew the game. The Jets blew the game. Costing me money because I picked them, and it was a pick 'em versus the Detroit. They really should have won that game. Some clock management. But Zach Wilson, 20 points, 2 touchdowns. I think he had a rushing touchdown, I believe. I'll give Zach Wilson some credit. I was honestly, well, he didn't have a rushing touchdown, but 2 touchdowns. I was honestly kind of pulling for him a little bit. That dude had been so bad earlier on. Still should have won the game, though. No excuses for that, man. You think they roll with Zach Wilson from here on out? I think they probably roll with him from here on, honestly.
I don't think they should, man. I just don't think they should. They passed the ball a little bit more this game, but they still lost the game in the end,
Yeah, but that was between him and then that's bad coaching too. They got questions to answer with that shit because they had 3 timeouts. They're just wasting time. They blew that game.
Yeah.
Let's move on to these running backs. Jerick McKinnon. Man, if you could sell Jerick McKinnon, I mean, it don't get no better time to sell Jerick McKinnon. Like that went from a guy that you might not get any value from to this dude's posted 2 30-point weeks in a row. He's pretty much just like a wide receiver on the team. But 8 receptions. I mean, the dude's just he's had a couple of big weeks. If you can sell him for even, I don't even know. If you can get a second round for him, I'd probably take it at this point. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, Jerick McKinnon, another big game. Then it went Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Ramondre, David Montgomery, Saquon, Tyler Algier, AJ Dillon, Latavius Murray, probably winning you some playoff matchups. I seen some things on Twitter about people starting Latavius Murray and Zay Jones and winning their matchups. I'm like, damn,
Oh
if I
yeah.
was the other person, I'd be so pissed off about that shit. But Dalvin Cook, 26 points in PPR leagues. I'm starting to wonder about Dalvin Cook. I was kind of wondering if he's lost a step. He's still pretty good. All those older guys I've been saying dynasty wise, now's a good time to get out from under them, like Dalvin, because here in the top 4 right here is just same old house. You know, household names. We got Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry, guys who have been at the top of your leaderboards for years. So these are guys we'll talk about it more in the offseason. I might try to get out from under these guys, dynasty wise. But if you're competing, these are the guys I have. And I was kind of selling these older, like I'm saying now, I'm saying sell, but these are the guys who did the best. Even guys like Austin Eckler, the older guys. So don't be so sure to sell them if you really think you're going to be competing and stuff like that. You got anything to say about those old guys? Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook?
I think like players like McCaffrey and Eckler will last a little bit longer as opposed to your Derrick Henrys. But yeah, if you can get hauls for them, go ahead. Because I mean, getting Christian McCaffrey launched my team into contention this year. So
Yeah. Yep. Ramondre Stevenson, big game, bailed me out. I was going to lose all my matchups. Ramondre and AJ Dillon had some big games for me. Ramondre, he's another guy that I wonder if you should be selling. I think the age and the eye test, this dude is awesome. This dude is good. But do you trust Bill another year? Do they go get a running back? Do they try to bring Pierre Strong in to like be more of the Russian attack, stuff like that? So that's just questions that I think maybe for the right price, I'd be willing to sell Ramondre. Wouldn't want to though, because things are working out good. I'm hoping he's about to carry me to at least one championship this year. 24.8. And most of that shit was on the ground. So big day for Ramondre Stevenson. David Montgomery, I said it before the playoffs started. He had league winning abilities. His schedule was lining up right. He had a big day, 24 points versus Philly. David Montgomery's another guy that I think we kind of forget to mention him, but he's part of that little Josh Jacobs, Miles Sanders group right there. It's gonna be a little uncertainty coming in with David Montgomery next year as well. So if you have him this year, you're gonna be wanting to compete. I think things have lined up for him, but I don't know. There's definitely some uncertainty with David Montgomery. What you say, Chris?
yeah, I would try to move him before he winds up somewhere else
Yeah.
in this offseason and try to get what you can because I think that the Bears probably are not going to stick with him.
And it could be in
Look to
one of those
dump him whenever they
situations.
can.
Yeah, it could be one of those situations where you see the landing spot and you're like, wow, he ended up there. And then that might be a good time to sell too. Like, that it might be like that with a few of these guys. You're like, dang, Miles Sanders ended up there. That might be a good time to go ahead and dump him right there. So those right there are tricky. Saquon, the next guy, he's kind of in that boat, but I think we all expect him to be back with the Giants. So, you agree with that?
Yeah, I see him sticking with the Giants.
Yeah. Tyler Algier, we talked about him on the waiver wire. This dude had 22.6 PPR points. Man, I'm a Falcons fan. When I saw him bounce on the outside and get that 2-point conversion, I was like, fuck, because I took the Saints at -3.5. So I was like, damn, man. That wasn't really expecting him to do it. But Algier, he's looked good. I was saying that the Falcons could be in the market for a running back next year. I'm starting to wonder how true that's going to be. Tyler Algiers actually looked pretty good the back half of this year. AJ Dillon, he's in concussion protocol, but he had a big day. He has stepped up his game. Kind of makes you wonder if it was going to be part of the game plan all year. Shoot, man, week 16 and week 17, if he can get past this concussion protocol, he's got some good matchups. AJ Dillon, we'll talk about it with the Craftman a little more this week, I hope, but he might be. I put him in my lineup this week over Mostert. Mostert had a good week, so then I was regretting it. But then AJ Dillon came out and outscored him, so I was like, okay, well, it ended up being a good call. AJ Dillon, he might be a must flex play, though.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that if AJ Dillon's playing, you're playing him now. For
And
sure.
his partner, Aaron Jones, was the number 11 guy. So both of them got the work in. That's pretty much what we were expecting at the beginning of the year. These guys getting a lot of work, more work than even these wide receivers. I know Christian Watson had a few catches, but James Conner, same old shit. Tough matchup. Have no fear. You know, James Conner's going to be a good play from here on out, especially if Colt McCoy's going to be the guy, no matter what the schedule looks like. Because, I mean, he just went against that Denver defense. James Conner's still out there rolling.
Oh. He scored a touchdown in like his last 5-6 games.
Yeah. So and then we'll just sum it all up. Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard, both had some fine games. Ezekiel Elliott's pretty much a touchdown machine right now. I feel like he just keeps on scoring touchdowns. Whatever you say about Ezekiel Elliott being washed, I think we would all agree he definitely ain't the guy he was. But he's getting in the end zone, and when they get down there in the red zone, this dude's definitely getting the rock. So we'll have to see what this backfield looks like next year. I can't wait to see what Jerry Jones does with these guys. Let's just move on to these wide receivers though. Zay Jones, the number 1 week. I mean, he had 3 touchdowns from Trevor Lawrence. This dude's looking like he might be Trevor Lawrence's main guy. This is 3 weeks in a row. All right, 4 out of the last 5 weeks. His lowest target is 7 in the last 5 weeks. Dude's got double-digit targets in 3 of those weeks. Zay Jones looks pretty good. What you say, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, Trevor Lawrence is just targeting the shit out of this dude. He's making plays. I think this dude's outperforming the 3rd highest paid wide receiver in the league right now. I mean, he's got Christian Kirk on his team. They paid him all this money, and he's throwing it to Zay Jones. He's throwing the ball like crazy to Zay Jones. And they're kind of 2 different kind of players. One's kind of more of like your slot guy, and the other one's kind of like your outside. But anytime that you can get a receiver that can put up 3 touchdowns like that, I mean, the ceiling's there.
Yeah, Zay Jones looks legit right now. This dude looks like a big-time wide receiver. Bringing in Calvin Ridley next year, I'm wondering if that'll even affect Zay Jones at all. It might not. It might affect more Christian Kirk than it would Zay Jones. So, now might be a good time to sell guys like Christian Kirk. So, I don't know. But I don't know, man. That as far as that offense looks, you might just want these powerful offenses. You want a piece of them. So, I've been saying about these guys, so it might be just good to buy them all. Number 2 guy, KJ Osborne, with his partner at number 3 was Justin Jefferson. You know, they had that huge comeback in the second half, so both of these guys were getting work. I was watching a lot of that game, Chris, and KJ Osborne, man, I think they're gonna have to move on from Adam Thielen and start getting this guy a little more work because this dude KJ Osborne looked legit. He was Kraft's sleeper at the beginning of the year. You know, the 3rd wide receiver on the Vikings. I don't know, man. What you think about that take? Move over Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne, here we come.
Well, I do remember that the Kraft man had sent that message, man, Thielen's done, and then he caught a touchdown like literally a minute and a half after he said that. But I do think that they should run this offense and move KJ Osborne to the 2nd guy and target him more than Adam Thielen. The dude makes plays, man. I mean, He made a ton of big plays in this. Just maybe shift your target share a little bit. Get him more involved because I think they got a good player in KJ Osborne.
Shit, I mean, 31.7 PPR points, and he even had a big pass play overturned on that one. That was like a 50
Yeah.
or 40-yard grab or something. Justin Jefferson, bad man, baddest man on the planet right now. He ran that route, and it's just like that dude is so good. I just can't. There's really nothing to even say about Justin Jefferson. That man is just awesome. AJ Brown, another big week, stepping it on up, 27 points. I think even with Gardner Minshew, this dude could probably get some good work. So AJ Brown, another huge week. No matter I was gonna say
27
Chicago.
points without a touchdown. That's without a score. The
Yeah,
181-yard receiving, 9 receptions. If he had a
just
touchdown, he would have
ridiculous.
almost scored 40. That's insane. Crazy.
That dude AJ Brown is just something else, man. So good, so good. He's got to be in the discussion with like these best receivers in the league as far as real football. I think.
Yeah.
Definitely up there in the top. I don't know, man, 3 or 4, something like that. Then we got big weeks from guys like Russell Gage, Noah Brown. These guys kind of get you out of nowhere. I seen Noah Brown getting some work. He looks pretty good. Dak Prescott was sprinkling around. Russell Gage caught 2 touchdown passes for Tom. That's pretty much what people were kind of expecting from Russell Gage at the beginning. He was like way up on ADP and a lot of people's draft boards. Finally paid off for 1 week. So Russell Gage probably, heck, that might be another waiver wire pick. Maybe Russell Gage. I wouldn't really depend on it too highly though. Then it went Chris Godwin, Tyreek Hill, Jahan Dotson, Jalen Waddle. I mean, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, they just both go off at the same time, no matter what. And it was tough because I seen a lot of people talking about bench guys like Waddle, bench guys like that, but that was all counting on the snow. If the snow was there, like what I was thinking, might have been a good call. It was just tough. These guys are just so good, so it's just like I don't know, nothing really to say about them. They still came up short, but them two with Tua, Mostert, that offense is just rolling. Can't wait to see what it looks like come playoff time, though. Anything to say about those Dolphins guys?
No, but I think they can make a little push. They've got the offense, and their defense has been playing relatively well. Their pass rush is pretty good.
Yeah. Deontay Johnson was getting some work. About time all those targets were paying off. CD Lamb, Jamar, Michael Pittman, guys like that had solid days. Some of your big guys' names are in the high wide receiver 2 zone right there. So yeah, man, just another big week from guys like that. Anybody else you want to hit on? DJ Moore had a good week. I didn't play him. I could, man, fuck. Just some decisions I could have made. I could have won that matchup, man. Should have played DJ Moore. T. Higgins. A lot of people were worried about T. Higgins about even playing, but 16 points. It all paid off if he played him. Hope you didn't bench him.
Yeah.
Anybody else you want to just shout out real quick?
If Jahan Dotson's anywhere on your waivers, go grab him for sure. I mean, once he got hurt a little bit, but at the beginning of the year, he was like the red zone guy. But then Heineke came in, and it seemed like he didn't want to target him. But now it seems like Heineke's realized, oh shit, this dude's pretty good. So he's throwing him the ball. And Jahan Dotson's found the end zone twice now after finding it 4 straight weeks in a row when he first played, and then going on like a 2-game spell where he didn't after he got
Yeah.
hurt, and now he's getting targets. So definitely
Yep.
a little stash, probably definitely a little flex play for you to throw in there, Jahan Dotson.
Yeah, Jahan Dawson's good. Look for him to take a step up next year. It's a possibility you might could snag a guy like Jahan Dotson from an owner in your dynasty leagues. It's a possibility. I might would take a little stab at it, see if I can get him at a nice price. But let's move on to these tight ends. George Kittle, huge day, had 2 touchdowns from Brock Purdy. Really, that game, that Seattle defense really didn't look that bad, but 2 touchdowns, 2 George Kittle touchdowns, killed
When I saw him
those
catch
guys.
those 2
So
touchdowns, I immediately knew. I was like, well, Matt lost. And this is that first game of the
yeah,
week. I saw George Kittle catch 2 touchdowns. I was like, well, Matt's done. Matt's not going to win this matchup. I was like,
yeah.
fuck.
I had to have a lot of people goose egg. I mean, there's a lot of players that I'm playing that ain't even gonna be on my roster next year. So things we'll look up for the home league. Jawan Johnson, 2 touchdowns. Damn, Jawan Johnson, he looks good. He shouldn't be on your waivers in your dynasty leagues. I would go grab him. I would definitely like to have him in my tight end room. He looks good. He looks as good as any of these guys, I would say. I think just need a little more consistency at the quarterback spot. Taysom Hill, get the fuck out the way. But Jawan Johnson looks good. Um, Chris's guy, Dawson Knox, had a big game. He's had a couple big games in a row, I think.
And I haven't even played him. Been playing Dalton Schultz.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Travis Kelce, same old shit with him. 20 points.
Let's shout this out real quick. We got a person in our home league that just bitches constantly. This dude just won a championship. This man changed his name to fuck Kelsey and fuck Christian Kirk. And I want to go out there and say that Travis Kelce caught 10 targets and had all 10 of him, and still he said this motherfucker couldn't catch. He can't catch. He caught every reception thrown his way for 20 points, and it still fucked Travis Kelce, man. It's just funny. There could be a whole segment on Micah's names for his fantasy players.
Some people have bad luck, and some people complain when you guys don't get you 30. And Michael's one of those guys.
Yeah.
His luck, he did have a lot of points scored on him, but his luck wasn't that bad. Noah Fant, Uzama, I pick up Conklin. Uzama has a big game. Pisses me off. I'm like, what in the fuck? Darren Waller, welcome back to the fold. We ain't seen you in a millennia. Feels like forever since I seen you, Darren Waller. If you got Darren Waller, and after this week, if you can get any kind of compensation for him, sell that dude if somebody's willing to go pay for him. I don't know, though. People will be buying into him once next year starts rolling around, though. I guarantee it. Wait till the beginning of that next year when people are doing their drafts and shit. His ADP's rising in the redraft rankings. Then in a dynasty league, you can probably sell you a little bit of Darren Waller. So, but shit, man, that's about it at these tight end spots. Pretty much does it for your leaders. Real quick, I just wanted to say, let's see. Falcons Saints game. Desmond Ritter came in. His numbers weren't good, but he looked okay. Looked all right. I would say we threw the ball deep a little bit. So I would say for your Drake London shares and your Kyle Pitts shares, maybe it won't look so gloomy next year. Any of these games you want to highlight? That New England, Las Vegas, New England. What the fuck are y'all doing, blowing our lock like that?
I hope whoever the coach, that dude, he got chewed out. I guarantee he got chewed out. If he was probably a third or fourth string dude that did that, they probably would have waved his ass. I ain't even gonna lie. I mean, that's crazy to do what he pulled right there. Just play for OT. I know Bill Belichick was probably screaming at him when he got over with. I just figured he'd kneel the ball, and this dude tried to lateral it. They went straight to the Raiders player, and it's bad football. That's bad fundamentals right there. It's terrible.
Definitely one of like the worst, dumbest plays I've seen to lose a game. Like, I mean, just what a terrible, just terrible, man. I just can't get over it, man. And then we lose the lock like that, man. I put more money on the lock because we've been pretty automatic with it. So
Yeah, because that's up there
Yeah,
with
man.
like the butt fumble. That's up there with the Detroit's quarterback that just ran out of the back of the end zone on that play. That's just one of those Shaq in a full moments right there. I don't know what the hell to call that. That's just what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, that was crazy. Bill Belichick, that's on your resume, big dog. Just like if Matt Ryan's taking that L's on his resume, this Bill Belichick shit's definitely on his.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But look, man, thanks for listening to the podcast. That's your recap. Hopefully the craft man can get back on with us this week. But hopefully everybody will get better. I mean, the poor man's sick. Chris is sick. I'm the only one healthy. I was sick as fuck last week. So
My body is aching. I got COVID now. So just aching, man.
Yeah, man, Chris, I came back from work for COVID, and I worked that one night, and then the next day I laid in bed for 12 straight hours. Man, I could not get up. I couldn't do it. I actually feel okay today, though. But shoot, man, thanks for listening to the podcast. Add the podcast, give us that 5-star review, hop on the Discord, talk to us, interact with us. The content's about to be coming more and more. We already give out more content than everybody, but we're about to be giving out way more. Instagram, Twitter, it's all in the description on the podcast. YouTube, check out our YouTube, Twitch. See Swizzy, am I forgetting anything?
Well, hitting everything on the head.
All right, then shoot. You got anything to say to the people then?
Just get active. Playoffs about to be over with. We're gonna be hit this hard, trying to bring y'all what we can.
Right. So, thanks for listening to the podcast. Well, we out.
Peace.